Hey everyone, it's Suey here, and another whole week has gone by already, which means it is time to have another little recap or update or questions about our most recent section in the read-along for Fairy Tale. I hope you are still reading with me, everyone that started this project. In my book, we are at page 450, which is through chapter 24, I think. Am I right? In this section that we just read this past week, we now have Charlie going off and finally seeing what is in this crazy city. All these things that the people have been talking about, been leading up to this adventure he's going to have in the city. And definitely has some interesting experiences. His mission is to just get to this magic sundial that if he puts his dog on it and rotates it backwards, she's going to age backwards and get younger. And so all he cares about is helping this dog out and then getting out of there. And so we're rooting for him to do these things. Mr. Bowditch has marked things along the way, and so he can easily find his way through the city. And he gets there and he passes the scary giant lady. He does get Radar on the sundial. It's awesome because it worked, and now Radar is all young and happy and healthy again. And so all he has to do is get out of the city before it gets to be dark, because we have these night walker things, which we don't really know what they are, but basically zombies, I guess. So as he's trying to get out of the city, he realizes that he has no markings, and so he gets completely and totally lost. He can't find any of the markings that Mr. Bowditch has left. And he found out that awful dude that he met on the way in has gone ahead of him and washed them all off. So now he's completely and totally lost. He figures out finally how to get out. He almost makes it through the gate, but then is caught by the Nightwalkers at the very last moment. Of course he is, because we have to have more adventures. But Radar makes it through. So then he ends up being caught. He's captured. He's in a dungeony place with all these other prisoners, and we find out that they are being trained and groomed to participate in some sort of tournament thing that's kind of like the Roman gladiators of olden days, where they're fighting against each other. But he makes friends with all these guys in the prison. There's been one round so far. And so they have to keep killing each other off till they get down to one. And then that one person is going to supposedly fight the daughter of our giant lady. So that's what's happening now. And I don't really have any official questions about this section. But the biggest thing I think that is most intriguing about this part is that something is happening to Charlie. And his hair is turning lighter and his eyes are turning lighter. And the people the guys in the prison are now bowing down to him and calling him Prince Charlie, and they're saying that he is the long lost savior, the prince that's going to come and save them. Charlie's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but this is the thing that's most intriguing to me. I mean, what is really happening to Charlie? Is he really part of this whole story? Is he have some sort of tie and connection to this place? And why is he turning lighter? Like, I don't understand. And I kind of liked what he said at the end of this section, where he's like, if I'm going to be a prince, I'm going to be a dark prince. I don't know if he meant in coloring, but he meant in temperament, I think. And what do we think is really happening with Charlie? And do we think that he is actually truly going to be able to save this land? Now, there has been many things that he's talked about as we've gone through that makes me feel like that's what it's leading up to, is that somehow Charlie is going to be able to fix everything. And so now I'm starting to get hope in my gut that he can bring happiness back to these people and get their lives back and reverse the curse. And I don't know how he's going to be able to do all that, but that's the hope now. I really hope he can figure it out. The other thing I thought to ask is, what are some of the most interesting things that have stood out to you about this city and some of the weird things that he's seen? For me, it was the mermaid. I'm wanting to know what's going on with the mermaid. And also, I'm very intrigued by the flocks of monarch butterflies. I think that is a really interesting little cool thing. The shape shifting of the buildings, that's crazy. And the feeling, then the way he got really dizzy, the description of that stuff was making me feel dizzy. I was like trying to imagine myself, and I was like, I couldn't do it. I would be throwing up. Anyway, those are a couple of things that stood out to me, so I was wanting to know what stood out to you as far as some of the descriptions of the weird things going on in that city. And these bad people are so awful. He's really thought up some crazy, awful bad guys, I guess. I'm very intrigued by the guy in the cell, Percy or Percival, as we learn his name is. And so I feel like another pretty great ending spot, because I feel like there's going to be now another turning point, and Charlie's going to start trying to do something about the situation and hopefully help the people that are left in that prison, in that dungeon. Half of them are dead now, but hopefully he can figure out how to help the other half. So that's where we end. So now we're ready to go on to our final stretch, the last chunk of this book. Next week, I wanted to have a live with Tori, again with me as my helper, but I can't quite figure out when to do it because it's Easter weekend, and I don't know if that's going to cause problems for anybody being able to watch it. So look for an announcement on when we've decided to do that. Friday, Saturday, or Sunday sometime next week, and we will have a wrap up of the whole book. If everybody that's been reading it could join us for that, that'd be awesome. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's been quite an intriguing book so far, and I hope you guys are having fun too. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.